win the championship. That's the best thing to do to keep your fans engaged.
Hi, welcome to Beyond the Field, a show where I take you off the sports field and into your favorite teams and events. I'm your host Nadeem Sheikh, and I will be talking to industry professionals like me and provide you guys a 360-degree view of the thriving sports industry of India. Today, I have with me Mr. Kailash Kandpal, CEO of Puneri Paltan, the team that won the Pro Kabaddi League this season. Welcome, Kailash sir.
Thank you for having me.
Sir, we'll stay in touch with the PKL season. I want you to touch upon how was the experience of winning the league and how was it celebrating?
So it gave us a new high. Okay, we've been reaching the playoffs quite consistently. Last season we reached the finals, but unfortunately we couldn't win the trophy. But this season, right at the beginning, just before the auction, we were very clear that if we are going in, we are going in to lift the trophy and come back as champions, and that's what we have achieved.
Great. And how did you celebrate?
So we were dancing on the mat, which I think most of us saw. But after that, we had a road show in Pune, and we had round about 1,000 people cheering us on the roads of Pune. We went to the blue shade, took the blessings of Lord Ganesha, and then in the evening we had a party at JW Marriott, where all our ex-players, some of the key dignitaries of the league and the federation were invited, and of course, our promoters and the full family of Puneri Paltan was there.
Great, great. I think you guys had a blast. I've seen your social media. It's full of partying and celebrating. I think you guys deserve it after a long season. You know, there's 5 to 6 months, and if you look at the pre-cap and everything, it's like a hectic schedule. And I think you guys deserve it. Congratulations, Puneri Paltan.
Thank you.
Sir, I want you to take a step back and give our viewers your professional and educational background.
Yeah. So I graduated from Lala Lajpat Rai. Okay, and from did MBA in marketing. From there on, my first job was with FCB Ulka, which is in your office premises on the fourth floor, working on brands like Tata Motors and ICICI Bank on direct marketing. And from there on, I moved into Kotak Securities, which is into stock market, an arm of Kotak Bank. And from there, I was very lucky to get this opportunity from the Kotak family.
Nice. And did you have any interest in sports prior to this thing?
Yeah, I've got a very interesting incident. So I always believed that I was a good cricketer. So one day, and Kotak has a very good cricket team. Okay, the bank team has a very good cricket team. They play the Bank Shield, which is by the RBI. They have Time Shield, and they also play a lot of Maidan cricket in Mumbai. And they have a very good team, let me tell you. So I thought I am a very good cricketer. So they had a nets selection for the newcomers who are into Kotak. So I took my cricket kit, went to Shivaji Park, okay, and the captain told me, you pad up and go next. So I went. I thought, okay, I'll play a couple of shots, and I think I will be selected in the team. The first ball, I remember the bowler, Ritesh Sodani. He came in, he cut the ball, and I was clean bowled. So okay, I said, okay. The captain said, okay, you continue. Second ball, another bowler came, and I got cotton ball. He said, come out. And that's how my cricket career ended in Kotak. So, and that's when I said, okay, I will again come back and start my cricketing career. And I then went to to the nets, did a lot of efforts, and then slowly I again started my cricketing career. But this was only for leisure, not for any other purpose, but for leisure with friends.
And how did the opportunity came to lead Puneri Paltans? Like, what was it? Do you remember what that day you getting a
Yes.
phone call or something like that?
I clearly remember. Okay, before getting into kabaddi, Kotak had a 25-year celebration, and there was a core committee, okay, which I was a part of, and our KRA was to conduct cricket tournament across the nation, wherever Kotak had their presence. And we had a team of 5 people, and we successfully conducted this cricket tournament for internal Kotak employees across India. And we did get a mention about this from Uday Kotak, that it was a very nicely conducted tournament. And I think when the opportunity came into for Kabaddi, that's when one of my bosses said that, why don't you join the team for Kabaddi?
That is how it came about.
That is how it came about.
Nice. And you've worked across a very structured function at Kotak, and also you've led the sporting arm. What is your experience, and what are the differences that you observed?
So in Kotak, everything is set. Okay, you have certain structures, and you've got to go by. When I started the sporting venture Inshore Sports, every day is a new learning, and every day there is new challenges which come up. Okay, and there are new things which are thrown at us which we are not aware of, because when you have a large organization, you've got multiple departments, and you've got department heads, and you've got colleagues, where you can go and talk and discuss and then find a solution for your sticky situation. But here, you are all by yourself, and everything was new, so it was very good learning for.
And you mentioned Inshore Sports. I think Puneri Paltan is Kabaddi team is one of the teams. I think you guys have much more at Inshore Sports. I wanted to give our viewers a background. What is Inshore Sports and what other teams are like it?
So Inshore Sports is a sporting venture promoted by Suresh Kotak and family. Okay, we are into different leagues. Puneri Paltan, which is part of Pro Kabaddi League. We have Puneri Paltan table tennis team, which is part of Ultimate Table Tennis League, started by Vita Dani and Neeraj Bajaj. And we also have Ganges Grandmaster, which is a league started by Tech Mahindra and FIDE.
And what are your roles as the CEO?
So, completely managing the PNL, brand building, and the entire day-to-day operations of the team and the organization.
Okay. And what is your best? What is the best part about leading a sports group?
There's so much of fun, and you interact with athletes. You get to know them inside out. You get to know about the challenges. You get to know the hardship, and when you see an athlete really perform, overcoming all those the day-to-day challenges. Okay, it tells you how mentally strong the athlete is, and how fragile we are. Okay, we talk about oh, we keep complaining that okay, there's so much of pain in my life, there's so much of unhappiness. But if you look at an athlete, he overcomes all that, and he's achieving every day new heights and new greatness. And that's when you come to know that what is mental strength all about.
And I'm sure your schedule would be very packed while communicating with you regarding our recording. I've seen that your schedule is very hectic. How does your 24-hour look like during the season?
So early morning we have our fitness regime with the team. Okay, after the fitness regime, I sit with the coach and understand what's happening, along with the strength and training, and understand what's happening with each and every player. Okay, I know what are the goals that were defined to the athlete, and where is he on the scale of 1 to 10, and how far is he from achieving the set standards which we've kept for the athlete. Then we also then decide what's going to be the evening. Right. This is the pre-camp. What's going to be planned for the evening? How the practice session is going to look like, and who are the athletes who need to be given rest, and who are the athletes where we need to push and ensure that they come up the curve, and start giving the required output which the team requires for the league. In between, we also have a lot of content which is getting created. So interacting with the social media team, and then of course a very very big part of my time goes into nurturing sponsors, and getting sponsorships activated for the organization.
And what is it like in the auction room? Can you share your experience?
So last couple of auctions have been very simple for us. Okay, we just have one player in mind, and we go all out. on that player. So last two auctions have been very simple for us. But yeah, otherwise there's a lot of planning that goes on. We have 4 or 5 different buckets where we see that what kind of players do we want, what kind of players are available, the names of the players for each and every different positions in kabaddi, and we have at least 4 or 5 options for that position.
And how do you go about preparing for an auction? I'm sure there must be mock auctions and you must be doing your data analysis. Can you share some of the opinions?
Yeah, so we have a data analyst with us, okay, who gives us the data of the previous season as well as the current standing of the player. So how has he been performing in the current season in terms of nationals, and then you have local kabaddi tournaments. Okay, so we then sit and decide, what players we've already retained and what are the positions that need to be filled, and we have a value for each and every player, and depending on that value, we on the auction table we decide whether we need to break our purse over and above that price, or should we go below the price, or do we look at alternate players. So it's very dynamic, and it happens, some of the decisions are taken only at the auction table, and it also depends on what the other team is doing with their purse and which players are they buying. So
I think along with Kabaddi, you have other teams as well in different sports. How did that come out? Like, how did you understand, or what was the strategy like? Like, we have to go and get a team at table tennis or a chess team. Like, what
so
was it?
so we don't go looking for teams. Okay, there are opportunities which come. We evaluate these opportunities, and when we feel that okay, it's the right time to invest, we get into the sport. So that's how we look at the opportunity. In fact, we had an opportunity in IPL also. We did go for a bid in that, but unfortunately, we didn't get a team.
No problem. How do you ensure that the teams across sports get equal attention throughout the year? I think what happens is the PKL season or any other season, it's like a very defined period, 4 to 5 months. But I'm sure the things going behind the scenes are 12 months. It moves around the year. How do you ensure that equal attention is given to all the teams or franchises?
So if you see all the three leagues, all the teams, 3 teams which you have in the 3 leagues, they have different schedule. So when PKL comes, our entire focus then is on PKL because that's the major revenue driver for us, and all our resources are on PKL. A good part is that UTT comes in monsoon. So then again, we have our same resources working on UTT. Similarly, for the Global Chess League, it's a very short window of 14 days. So we pull in the same resources. So that's how we divide our time. So, I would say 70% of the time goes on Kabaddi, the 20% goes on UTT, and 10% would go on Global Chess.
And I think the Pro Kabaddi League started in 2014 and we are in 2024, but the league finished in 20, it's like 9 years. I'm sure across this period you've experienced a lot of ups and downs. I wanted to touch upon what are the challenges that you have observed across these years.
So, first, when we started it, sponsors, which are very important for any sport to thrive. Okay, because only if the athletes get the due uh, money for the kind of effort they put in, will we get new athletes? So sponsors was a very big challenge for the sport. Okay, then getting new athletes, because we were seeing that the same athletes are coming in, no new takers for the sport was there. That was the second challenge, to get new athletes into the sport, and then getting viewers, to watch the sport, because any sport will take off if you get viewers. So these were the three challenges. But over the years, I think the league, the federation, and the franchise have worked together and ensured that they overcome these challenges. Yes, there are other challenges also, but we are working in collaboration and ensuring that we pass each other.
And what are the opportunities that you see?
So going forward with the sport growing, okay, new sponsors are looking at coming in. I think we can look at a smaller league also now, okay, where we have 12 teams who are playing, but after the league gets over, maybe a smaller team league could be looked into. There are talks between the federation and Mashal that there is a women's league which they are planning to do. So that could be an opportunity there.
And I think you spoke about fans being the critical part. When fans come in, viewership comes. What are the strategies or what are the steps that Puneri Paltans take to keep their fans engaged?
Win the championship. That's the best thing to do to keep your fans engaged. You keep winning, your fans get motivated. Okay, we've seen last 2 seasons that our team has been playing like champions. Okay, the boys have been performing very well on the mat, and the kind of response you get from the fans is huge. And we also do a lot of activation, be it campus, going to large campuses like Tech Mahindra, doing campus activation, taking up players there, doing meet and greet with our players, with some fans. A lot of contest which goes on to keep the fans engaged, and also to boost new fans in. We do a lot of contests and mall activations which we do. So all this and taking the sport and outside Pune, okay, into places like Satara, Kolhapur, Beed, Nanded, all the smaller towns of Maharashtra to get more fans.
I'm sure along with all of these, you must be touching upon social media being a big part of your marketing campaign. What do you think is the role of social media in leveraging sports?
I think social media for anybody is huge right now. I know anybody not being present on social media is missing out. So we have influencers. We have a proper strategy for social media where we not only have influencers who are helping us, but there are other activities which we do in terms of contest, in terms of creating new content with our players, in terms of creating new videos. Okay, and and some of them are very funny videos, which engage the when they engage the fans, and then we try to have a two-way conversation. So some of the fans, okay, we have them promoted on our handles. They have got huge fan following, our fans themselves. So taking their content and promoting it on our page. So that's how. So it's a collaborative effort which we do.
And what are the grassroots initiatives that are being taken in order to nurture young and upcoming talents?
So we have a youth academy called Yuva Paltan, okay, wherein we recruit good athletes from across the country. Okay, we give them a monthly fee, a contract fee to be a part of the academy, and we have a full-time trainer who takes care of the SMC. We have a physio with us. Okay, we have a tie-up with a physio clinic, and they take care of their injuries. And then we have a dedicated coach who comes in and bees with them and teaches them the skills of, be it defense, be it offense, or match strategy. And then during the year they go and play different matches across Maharashtra and across India to see what the level of their talent is. And that's how we then recruit them into our Puneri Paltan 80 for the league.
Right. So it's a structure where they play at the bottom level and then they rise as the performance
Yeah.
increases and then they get a
And also the league has a policy for inducting new young players into the system. So that has also helped the policy, and that's why we believe in the youth academy. Right. So some of our boys like Aslam, on the Akash Shinde, Pankaj Moite are a product of this academy.
Great, great. And all these players have played a huge part in getting the trophy this season. Not only this season, but earlier also they have performed exceptionally well on the mat. Great. And sir, wanted to touch upon what are the international expansion strategies that you are looking at? Is there any?
So I'm sure the league and the federations are working on this, okay, because that's a broader level for the sport and for kabaddi, okay, and that's best answered by the league and federation. So, and we will, of course, extend our support wherever and whenever required, depending on what kind of commercials it talks about, and then yes, we will support it, but it all depends on the league and the federation.
And what is it in for brands? Like, why do brands associate with sports and specifically with kabaddi? And how do you get them on board?
It's very simple. It's a rustic sport. It's an Indian sport. It's a homegrown sport. Okay, the kind of agility, the kind of flexibility, the kind of power, strength which is there in this sport. I know very few sport have it. Okay, and it's a very fast sport. Okay, in a 40 minute, you are out. Or you watch a match in 40 minutes, you're done with it. So where do you get such a sport and which is so fast? Okay, so for a brand, okay, who is looking into getting into tier two and tier three cities, okay, this is the best medium to reach out to audience. Okay, and it also talks about the various attributes of a brand. You talk about agility, you talk about strength, you talk about flexibility, you talk about pride, the pride in winning such a fast game. So it it goes well with some of the brands and their attributes. Great.
And I'm sure you have worked closely with other brands and federations and associations in order to grow sports. Can you touch upon few examples that you have contributed or to leverage sport?
In terms of if in just
Anything if you worked with federation to look at grassroots sport or any other examples you have in mind?
Yeah, so for the federation, we work on various things, including policies for betterment of the league. Okay, this is along with the league, we work with the federation. Okay, so certain changes which are required for the betterment of the sport, for the viewers, for the fans. That's what we work with very closely with. So some of the example is the one of the example is the lobby rule, okay, which is introduced in Pro Kabaddi. That so that is thanks to the franchises and the league in collaboration with the federation, saying that okay, can we look at this rule being
Something like this to get the sport more
more
exciting.
exciting? Yeah,
Get
yeah,
fans.
yeah.
Great. And how do you go about scouting? Scouting when you look at kabaddi versus other sports. How do you go about that?
So we have a scouting team in place. Okay, Ashok Shinde leads that team. Okay, he's the one who is in touch with various coaches across the country. Okay, we go to various tournaments in smaller cities. Okay, where talent is there. Okay, and then we shortlist a few of them. Okay, and then we call them to our camp, and then we take trials based on our selections. And if we find that the athlete is good, then we induct him into our Yuva Paltan Academy. And from there on, his journey starts. He's got to be with us for at least a year before we can think of coming into Puneri Paltan.
I think we've touched upon Puneri Paltan, the kabaddi team, at a broader level. I want to touch upon the other teams as well, the table tennis team and the chess team. Like, what is your experience? And like, just give a broad review on the sport as well.
So table tennis is catching up, okay, and the broadcaster this time, Geo, has done a fantastic job on the sport. Okay, this was the first season with Geo, and I'm sure going forward they will showcase the sport much better. Okay, and in terms of the league, Vita Dani is very open to suggestions from the franchisees as well as from the broadcaster. So I'm sure we all working together to take the league to the next level.
Great. And how can you touch upon the promoters? Like, what was their mindset in order to push into sports?
So Jay Kotak, who leads this sporting venture for the Kotak family, is very open to investing in sports, and he looks at sport with a different lens. Okay, and he wants to promote homegrown sports or sports which are very which has not got the due over a period of time. And so he's looking very closely at that. And thanks to him that Puneri Paltan has seen, what it is today from being at the bottom of the table in season one, season two, to performing consistently from season three onwards and to winning the championship. So there's a lot of attention to detailing, thinking, strategic thinking. Okay, and this I would the entire strategic thinking part in terms of long term plans is all initiative of Jay Kotak, and I thank him for it.
Great. Great. I think there is a lot of our audience are people who are looking to get into the sports industry. I wanted to touch upon what are the areas of employment that they can get into.
So, sport for apart from playing the sport, okay, there are many other opportunities. Like they could get into broadcast. Okay, they could get into organizing sporting events. The sport is no more only a sport; it's a sport of entertainment.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of entertainment part in sports which they can get into. Okay, there's a role in terms of sponsorships. There's role in terms of consulting. If you have an idea, you can consult the federation, you can consult the broadcaster, you can consult the league owners, how to run a league, or how can the league get into the next level. Then there are other touch points which you can do in terms of team management. So you can be a team manager. Okay, you can be an operations head. Okay, and the kind of business which is that, which is hospitality, is a very big business. Travel, stay, and your training facilities. So there are a lot of this, and not to forget, there's SNC, there's physio, there's coaching. So there's a lot of things which opens up when you are into sports.
Also, I think there are people who are getting into the federations as well, like running the league from at a government point of view. So that is also a great opportunity for.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Young people coming into federation always helps, because young blood gives you new ideas, and they've seen, the sport growing. So they have their own ideas, and that also helps.
And what, according to you, are the steps that needs to be taken in order to grow sports from where it is right now in India?
I think first of all, parents need to have an open mind. Okay, they have to let the child play the sport. Okay, okay, and stay away from coaching the child. Okay, I see many parents taking their children to play a sport, and then instead of the coach, the mother or the father is trying to teach the child. Okay, so be away from that. Okay, let the child enjoy the sport first. Okay, and then you see how he or she is picking up the sport, and then you go on from there, and have faith in your child. If they're doing well, I would say, support them.
And I wanted to touch upon the difference or cricket versus other sports in India, and also give us the example that you gave before we started recording.
Okay, so I would say cricket should be a supplement, and to other sports should supplement cricket. Okay, cricket for us, if you talk about retail business, it's like an anchor tenant. Okay, so when you have a mall, you have McDonald's, you have H&M. Okay, that's where the crowd comes in for that. Okay, and then you have exclusive outlets, okay, which are high-end outlets, okay, where the footfalls will be lower, but the ticket size will be higher. But what happens with cricket is, the cricket gets you to watch the OTT, to watch on TV, and to watch on screens, and that's where the audience then gets hooked on, and that's where you can promote other sports. Okay, be it kabaddi, be it wrestling, be it badminton. If you then start promoting the sport, okay, through cricket, I think that will be, you can leverage it better, because the audience of cricket is huge. Everyone in this country follows cricket, so why don't we leverage on that fact? Because once your the cricket season comes down, that's when the other sports can get into, but leveraging the current viewers of cricket.
That's a great point you mentioned. I think we have Indranil sir, who was the former CEO of Mumbai City. He also spoke on the similar point that we need to grow the size of the pie, not get the share of cricket, but we need to grow the entire pie so that we can grow other sports along with cricket.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And sir, across your professional experience, I'm sure you must have come across incidents which are at a lighter note, of funny incidents. I wanted to share that if you have any.
Yeah, so I have many, but I'll tell you a couple of things. So once the in a serious kabaddi match. This I'm talking about season one. Okay, one of my raider touched the line. Okay, and the referee gave the decision against us. So from the audience, okay, I ran up to the technical table, and I was causing a huge hue and cry at the technical table. That's when Mr. Prasad Rao, okay, very sweetly called me down, okay, and said, my friend, in Kabaddi, you don't have to touch the line. You've got to cross the line, the mid line. Okay, and that's when I learned, okay, Kabaddi mein you've got to cross the mid line and not touch it. And from there on, I then started learning the sport, understanding the sport, and from there on, I have great respect for Mr. Prasad Rao because he's taught me those fine nuances of the sport, the technical aspects of the sport. That was one funny moment. And then another incident. Okay, my captain of season 3, Manjit Chiller. Okay, he had a knee injury. Okay, and he could barely walk. And this was 2 hours before the game. Okay, and we had already qualified, I think, for the playoffs or something like that. So it was not a very important game, and he could have rested. So the promoter and myself met him 1 hour before the game and said, "Say, Manjit, you are injured. I think we think that you should rest this game so that you are prepared for the playoffs." Said, हाँ जी भाई हैं, हाँ कैलाश भाई मैं रेस्ट करूंगा, मैं नहीं खेलूंगा, मैं दूसरे को खिलाऊंगा. We said, okay, we are very happy that he's listened to us. Manjeet being Manjeet, he never listens to anybody. आज हमारी बात सुना तो it was very good. So we went to the stadium and when they said Puneri Paltan, we see Manjeet Chiller running. So we said, and to his credit, he took 4 catches that day as a defender. So that's when I told him an athlete is an athlete.
Great. I think we've covered a lot of things, sir. Now it's time to take a step back and work on the rapid fire. We'll have a quick rapid fire round.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Are you ready for the rapid fire?
Yes.
Okay. One word to describe your journey in the sports industry.
Great.
Good. What is your favorite sports documentary?
For the Aussie one, I don't remember the
Yeah.
Australian.
The Test series one.
The Test series.
Yeah.
The Edge.
The Edge. I think that was the web series for which I took the subscription of Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. Your go-to sports app or website for the latest sports update?
Right now I go to Sportskeeda.
Okay. If you could switch careers for a day, what would you choose?
I would choose a marketing.
Okay. What's your proudest professional achievement so far?
Winning the championship.
One word to describe the future of sports in India?
Humongous.
Okay. If you could have dinner with any sports industry figure, living or dead, who would it be and why?
It would be Maradona.
Okay. Okay. What's the most memorable sporting event you've attended in person?
The ICC World Cup final.
Which year?
This year.
This year.
Yeah.
Okay. India, Australia. Okay. If you could bring any retired athlete out of retirement for one last game, who would it be and in which sport?
The god of cricket.
Sachin. Best advice you've received as a CEO?
That you are very humble and down to earth.
Okay. Sir, I think we've reached to the last part of the podcast. I want you to give our viewers one advice that you have received which helped you professionally and one advice you want to give to someone who's coming up in the industry.
Yeah. So one advice was that, which was given to me at the beginning of season 1 when we came back from the auction, that whatever is the task, go well prepared. Okay, and do a thorough in-depth knowledge, research on what you're going in for before getting into the task. There's one advice, and without doing the research, don't go for it.
And who gave you this?
This was given by my ex-boss, Jaimit Doshi.
And one advice you want to give to someone who's coming up in the sports industry?
That just enjoy the journey. Okay, and you'll face a lot of roadblocks, face a lot of challenges. But once you've made up your mind, just enjoy the journey.
Great. I think we had a fantastic time. We've covered everything that Puneri Paltan has to offer. That is it from our side. Hit the like button and the subscribe button and keep watching Beyond the Field. Thank you.